The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
And a new Irish record for Phil Healy, 22.99.
Christy Cooney hands over the Sam Maguire Cup to Graham Canty, Cork All-Ireland champions for the 7th time ever.
Hello and welcome back to the Star Sport podcast. I'm your host Dylan Mangan and I'm joined today by Star Sport reporter Seán Holland. On this week's edition we have two special guests where later on we'll be joined by Hannah Sexton, who's gearing up for the European Bowling Championships in Germany this weekend. And we'll also be hearing from Liam Anthony White, who is part of the Clonakilty side which won the Beamish Cup at the weekend. So there's plenty to look forward to on this week's Star Sport podcast. The podcast is brought to you in association with our friends at Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, where your bank really does matter. Choose Credit Union, choose local, choose community. So plenty to get through this week, Seán, but let's go first to celebrations at the weekend as Ireland's 4x400 relay team qualified for the Paris Olympics. Ballinine's Phil Healy was part of that team with a brilliant performance in the Bahamas at the weekend, where they ran a national record in their heat to qualify for Paris. And I guess just a little bit of background info for our listeners. Phil is actually your first cousin, so you've kind of been along for the ride. You've seen, you've been following this journey up close and personally for a long time. I guess to start, like just what does it mean for Phil, for the Irish relay team in general, to qualify with such a brilliant performance at the weekend?
Oh, it's fantastic. This Irish relay team is going from strength to strength. Even saw in Tokyo there with the mixed team, but even the Europeans there and finishing fifth in the indoors. You know, it's really bringing and putting Irish sprinting on the map. And just looking at Phil personally as well, as you said, you know, having the chance to kind of be there all the way through, kind of growing up and seeing her firsthand. How well she's done and how well she succeeded. You know, it's a true testament to her character, and just even seeing it from the family side of things, there must be a lot of credit go down to her parents, Jory and Phil, and obviously then Joan, being almost a coach, mentor, and competitor alongside her as well through the years, and her brothers Diarmuid and Padraig. So it's real achievement for Phil, but it's huge for the Healy family as well when Phil becomes a two-time Olympian. She's so many accolades to her name. Even Kieran was writing in his column and just making note of some of the things she's won. You could do you could nearly do a whole paper on the list of achievements. She's gathered over the years, but 16 national senior titles is probably one of the biggest ones. And then obviously being the first Irish female athlete to compete in 3 different athletics events at an Olympics. But this is another string to her bow now, and it's going to be interesting to see how well this team develops as well, because even with Rashida Akleki coming into the team there, it'll be wait to see if she competes in the relays, but she does add an extra notch of pace to that team and really puts them in contention for medals. We'll have to wait and see if she'll just concentrate on her own individual, but it'll be brilliant for Irish sprinting to see them compete in the Olympics, and they could go a long way. And I'd imagine Olympic final won't be too far off their radar.
Yeah, their performances in the last 2, 3, 4 years have been incredible, just from Irish sprinters in general, not just Adeleke and Healy, but Maudsley and Becker in that team as well have been brilliant alongside all the rest of the team as well. You mentioned Kieran writes in this week's Southern Star in his last word column that Healy has been blazing a trail, basically. So while a lot of the focus does go to Adeleke, Healy has been doing it for I think she won her first national senior title in 2014. Adeleke was just 11 years old. Maudsley was 15 and Becker was 16. So she does play a really important role in the team as well, as somebody who has been there, who has the experience, and who also is still rapid quick as well.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it. The experience Phil brings to that team is huge. Obviously, the other three girls are a bit younger than that. Phil wouldn't like to be called the older member of the team, but she the facts are the facts. She is, but it's a true testament to her character as well. Obviously, it was well documented, and she wasn't hiding behind the fact she struggled just with a couple of health issues there in 2022 and 23. But to fight back from that is absolutely fantastic. To see her back at the top of her game, is brilliant for Irish sprinting. It's brilliant for West Cork and Bandon Athletic Club, and as I mentioned, her family as well. I remember for many years, Jerry and Phil Cartier all over the country, and originally Joan was the initial star, and Joan has had a fantastic career herself, winning major titles as well. But Phil always saw Joan as the big sister, but always something to strive towards as well. And Joan has helped her along in that journey as well. They've really carried each other side by side, and there'll be no one more proud to see her walk out into Olympic track than her big sister. But it's brilliant for Phil. The Tokyo had that different side of it where it was during COVID and there wasn't a lot of build up. So hopefully people around West Cork can get behind the girls this year when they take to the track in Paris.
Yeah, it's incredible. She also hopes to qualify for the individual 200 meters at some stage before the games, and she is a sub on the mixed 4x400 relay team that won a bronze medal at the weekend as well. So it's just brilliant from Phil Healy, and we obviously wish her all the best going into the summer. Just one final point on that: it's definitely worth picking up this week's Southern Star to read the thoughts of Aaron Tierney-Smith, who is a training partner of, or she's part of Healy's training group in Waterford, and he believes that Phil Healy started the current resurgence of Irish women's sprinting. So there's some great reading in there this week. We're going to move on to our first guest of the show, which is Liam Anthony White, who will be speaking to you, or has spoken to you, Seán, about Clonakilty's brilliant Beamish Cup victory at the weekend. They had to wait a little while with the closure of Turner's Cross and postponements due to the weather, but they finally ended their 16-year Beamish Cup drought with a 3-2 win over Drinagh, and it's great for Clonakilty.
Oh, it's huge for Clon Soccer as well, Dylan, because they have had their recent troubles in terms of losing Beamish Cup finals. They've had disappointments there. They lost 3 finals in a row, so to get over the line on last Sunday was fantastic for them. 16 years since they last won the title, and Liam, who our guest later on the show, he was also part of the team in 2008. So it's brilliant for Clan Soccer, but it really was the two giants of West Cork football going up against each other. Clan taking 2-0 lead, Drinagh fighting back, and then Clan snatching it in the final quarter. But it was a great showcase for West Cork soccer as well. There was a big crowd in Lyre on Sunday just to see them, and the Women's Cup as well, which was brilliant for them as well. So it's fantastic for West Cork soccer, when you get a new name on the cup. But brilliant for Clonakilty. It's a town that's steeped in sport with rugby, GA, and God knows what else. But the soccer club is brilliant, and Liam even alludes to the numbers that they have at training, and that they're constantly getting new names and faces in. So this will only drive Clonakilty soccer forward, and we could be seeing them at the top table for quite a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. The battle for the Premier Division title is also continuing, as they are Clonakilty are leading that league by 2 points over Toker Celtic, with Drinagh still in the mix as well. So it'll be an exciting couple of weeks ahead to see who'll be crowned the West Cork League Premier Division champion this year. We won't wait any longer though, so let's hear now from Liam Anthony White, who has picked up his second Beamish Cup medal at the weekend.
Right, I'm delighted now to be joined by Liam Anthony White, a member of the Clonakilty Soccer Club team who defeated Drinagh Rangers in the Beamish Cup final last weekend. Liam, how are things?
I'm very well, Seán. How are you?
Super. So I'd imagine it was a good weekend of celebrations down in Clonakilty after securing the Beamish Cup.
It was a long time coming as well, Seán, as you probably know. So we did celebrate it pretty well. We had a good night on Sunday night, and some lads had a good Monday morning as well. Some of the younger lads, but us older lads sort of we took a bit of a backseat on the Monday morning. But it was, as you're probably aware, there was a few losses in the last few years with this team, so it was one that definitely was celebrated.
Yeah, you know, the bank holiday came in handy there now as well.
That as well, for sure. Yeah, a lot of there was a clan was hopping on Sunday night. We were transferred from pub to pub, and we tried to make it about the town as best we could. And there was a real good vibe about the place as well after the win.
Super. And as you alluded to it there, you've had your fair share of losses, and a heartbreak. So what did it mean, say, to you personally and then to the team to get over the line last weekend?
Yeah, look, there's some lads there that have lost 3 finals in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It meant a lot to them. It meant almost as much to me for them to win it as it did for myself, to be honest. I've recollections of being up at Turner's Cross, and there was Chris Collins was sat in the dugout with his head in his hands, and that's a memory that always stuck with me over the last few years when we were trying to bring one back to Clonakilty. And it just made it that bit extra special, I think. I think Johnny Lee, he's actually lost 4 Beamish Cup finals because he lost one with Lawyer as well in the mid, I think it was in 2015, 2016. So, yeah, you could see at the final whistle, Seán, it meant a lot to a lot of people, and we're pretty happy with the win.
Of course, yeah. And even just your journey to the final itself, it was pretty much a gauntlet, really, like, going through extra time and God knows what else, having to come back from defeats and, having to hold out towards the end. Even at the final itself, when you went up 2-0 and Drinagh came back 2-2, was there ever a bit of doubt started creeping in, or did you always feel that you could have, pipped it at the end?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, look, we definitely made it hard for ourselves. I mean, we won on penalties in the first round. We were 2-0 up against Castletown in the semi-final, and in a similar fashion, we eked it out with funnily enough, another Chris Collins free kick, as he's known to do. But I wouldn't say that we were. Look, the thing about Drinagh is that you're always going to get a very tough game against them. We always knew it was never going to be easy. We always knew they were going to come back into it. But at the same time, look, when it went to 2-2, I felt a calmness about the team as well. I suppose we'd been there before. Not always come out the right end of those types of wins, but there's a certain confidence to this squad. When I say squad, I mean, look, we had training a few weeks ago, and we had an 11v11 at a training, and it's with the competition for places has been ferocious, and I think it's kind of those types of games and those trainings that have stood to us. And when I went to 2-2, you might think that we were a bit nervous, but I still felt the calmness, and I felt that we were still in a good position to get it done.
Mm-hmm. And what was the message from the lads on the sideline? Because, as you said, it means a lot to like Johnny Lee, so he nearly would have put on the boots himself if he was able. But just even having himself and Lauren on the sideline, I've covered a couple of your games, and they're very passionate about clan soccer. So what did it mean to them as well? And what kind of message did they give to you, I'd say, in terms of getting you ready for the final, which was a long time coming as well with the postponements, but they've always had
Yeah, there was quite a few postponements, which threw things into a bit of disarray in the last few months. But yeah, look, the 2 lads have been brilliant. Lauren's come in this year, and he's just brought a bit of a difference. I think tactically, he's very shrewd. And look, as you probably know, Mousy from being in the sidelines, he's all passion, and it means so much to him. Mm-hmm. And look, yeah, they deserved it. It's great for them. Just very happy for the 2 of them as well, because they've put an awful lot into it. I was chatting with a few lads recently. We started the season August 20th. I think we had our first game. So like it's going to be almost 10 months into the season. We've been training twice a week pretty much since then. And if we didn't have a game on a Sunday, which happens in the West Cork League with cancellations, of course, with weather, we'd be training on the Sunday. So the effort was there, and I think that's the lads have just kept us clued in despite the two cancellations, and we've always been trying to focus in on the game, even though it was 2 months in the making. But yeah, just they were delighted for the two lads as well, because as you said, and all the players, they've just an awful lot has gone into it.
And you alluded as well to earlier to Chris Collins there at the free kick. Just like what an influence that fella has. You know, he any game I've covered, he's been probably star man. So it's like, you know, how beneficial is it to have someone of that quality, you know, playing with you week in, week out?
Yeah, he's some player. We've a lot of good players. Chris is definitely one of them. I think himself and Joe Edmead have close to 40 goals this year between them, which is pretty phenomenal. Massive reason for us being where we are. And look, yeah, any free kick within 30 yards, as you've seen from the semi now and the final flash as we call him, he's just lethal. He's got the cool head on him as well, which you need in those situations, because a lot of people expect him to score now almost when there's a free within the 20 to 25 yard range. But pleasure to play with him. Yeah, he eked out a photo there on Sunday night. He was actually on the team photo in 2008 when we won it as well as a little boy. So he's been involved in Clan Soccer for a long time, and yeah, I'd say it's his first Beamish Cup, but there could be a few more in him yet. He's still on the younger side of things, but yeah, it's great as he's one of the lads who lost the 3 in a row as well. So it's very happy for him.
Exactly. And just even going against the final and against like a team like Drinagh, you know, they're serial winners. They're always thereabouts at the end of the year. But having had played them previously 2 times this year, did you do anything different in your setup? Or was there any different messages from the management to almost, you know, make use of this opportunity now when you're in the final in the one-off game?
Yeah, it's a good question, Sean. Look, we probably learned a lot from those 2 losses. Drinagh are very difficult to play against. They're a very good team. They just put the pressure on you for 90 plus minutes. And as you see from Drinagh games, the amount of goals that they score in 90 plus minutes is phenomenal. So look, the real thing was we learned a few little things, which I won't give away too much because we have to play them again in the league. But you just know that they'll never say die. They just have that in them. And as you said, they're serial winners. So to win it that way was probably that little bit extra special as well against a team like that, because they have been the standard bearer for the last few years and will probably continue to be so. They're a great football club and a lot of respect for them.
Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned there, more likely it'll come down to between yourselves, Toker and Drinagh for the league title. So looking ahead then for the rest of the season, obviously winning the Beamish Cup, brilliant. That's in the bag now. So was the message from the lads to push on now and try and claim the double?
Yeah, look, it will be. We don't train out till tomorrow, and I'm sure that'll be the message. And yeah, we just look. The Beamish Cup is done now. We have to push on, and look, there's a chance at a double there. But as you said, Toher are still in the mix, and they have to play Drinagh, and Drinagh will, as you say, they're always going to fight until the very end. Toher do have a good chance of winning it as well, I think. Just looking at the table, they're still in with it, so it's an important month ahead. So we just have to put the Beamish Cup in the back mirror for now, and we've 3 big league games coming up, and they're all very difficult fixtures as well. So that's solely where the focus will be from tomorrow night. Exactly,
and Dunmanway Town ahead. There won't be any easy pushovers either. So it's pretty much look at it, win out, and you win the league. But it won't be easy, as you said.
Yeah, it rarely works like that. Yeah, there's 3, like Dunmanway are a great football team as well. They've some very, very good players. They will be very, very dangerous. And Seán, who we have to play as well, are quite good. I haven't seen a lot of them. We played them this year, but I think they were missing a few. So we've got 3 very tough games. And yeah, good to have the Beamish Cup in the back pocket now, but very much focus is on the league for the next month.
And if you can do the league and cup double, what would that mean to soccer in Clonakilty? You even said it yourself, having the ability to train 11 against 11, getting numbers out every week. So it's brilliant, and it'll do nothing but promote soccer even more in Clonakilty.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be great because, like, I'm not sure if you're aware, Clonakilty have never won a league, which is pretty crazy considering the talented players that have come through the town over the years. But there's a chance, but that's all it is. It would mean a lot to a lot of people in this town to win it, and I think it would be good for the town as well, for soccer in the town. And there is a lot of young guys coming through. We had 2 guys come on Sunday who are doing their leaving certs in a few weeks. So there's you need that conveyor belt of young guys coming through as well. And I think with the talented squad that there is now in their mid-20s, there's a lot of potential for a lot more cups and leagues in the next few years if they can stick together.
Exactly. And finally, there was 3 of you, Ian O'Driscoll, yourself, and Shane Buttimer, who were there in 2008. So will he give it next year? Or how are the legs holding up?
Yeah, the legs aren't too bad. Bob is fine. Ian O'Driscoll, he's in goal. I don't know if he's going to be around next year. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll see how the body is now in next month. We'll see what my wife says as well about missing, about being out of the house 3 nights a week for 10 months. But we'll see. We'll see how the next few weeks go. And it's the legs aren't too bad, but we could be there next year, all right.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Welcome back to the Star Sport podcast. Now, this weekend, over Friday, Saturday and Sunday in Germany, bowlers from Ireland, Germany, the Netherlands and Italy will battle it out in 3 national disciplines. That is the Irish road bowling, Dutch Moors bowling and German lofting. Saturday is the day to focus in on for West Cork residents, though, as that is when road bowling will take centre stage and the bowl coming Irish team will want to dominate their own event. Hannah Sexton will be travelling to Germany along with her sisters Ellen and Laura to compete, and she spoke with Kieran McCarthy ahead of the weekend.
Joined now on the podcast by Hannah Sexton ahead of a huge weekend for road bowling followers in Ireland, because it's the European Bowling Championships in Germany, and Hannah is on the flight to Germany for the big weekend. First off, Hannah, can you tell us about the importance of the European Bowling Championships and what they mean to road bowlers here at home?
It's absolutely huge. The amount of training, practice, and everything that's been put in, and preparation really that's been put into this. We started training trials now actually last July, so we're nearly a year at it now in preparation for the Europeans, and it's the same with every other organization, the Germans and the Italians. It's a massive process and preparation that's put into it. It's not just kind of show up on the day and perform. Like, it's months and months of training and practice that we've been doing, and Balcommin have done phenomenal work. And especially I'd like to shout out to the ladies committee of Greta Cormack and Caroline Smith and Emma Fitzpatrick. They've done phenomenal work for the ladies now and done huge preparation for us to get us prepared for it next week.
Obviously, we know that road bowling is huge here in West Cork and obviously up in Ulster as well. But what these European Championships do, they bring together bowlers from, like you said there, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands as well, I'm guessing, is it? So it's about bowlers from all over the continent are kind of converging on Germany this weekend to find out who is the best of the best.
Yeah, that's pretty much it now. It's savage pressure, all right, going over, and it is really, you're putting in the best of the best, and we've been trialing all along to see like who will be representing Ireland in each of the divisions, and the Moors, the Lofting and the Road, and we're putting our best team forward, and so the Germans, the Italians and the team from the Netherlands, and it's the same with the northern ones. They've selected their players, and it's all the best of the best really going over.
You mentioned there about the trialing process started last July. Give us a bit of insight into that. What was involved in making sure that you got your name on the flight to Germany this weekend?
Yeah, it's been actually crazy. So we did it different there this time compared to the last European trials. We had a trial to get on the panel. Since last July, we did moors and lofting and road trials. We did 5 nights of each, and it was your best 3 nights that they took and to make up to get onto the panel. So we have a panel of 7 senior women and 4 under 18 girls going over. And the panel, I'd say there was over 20, nearly 30 people trialing for the panel, and it was 7 got selected. So we did 5 trials from July to the end of August, and then we started the trialing for the actual team to perform over there. Since January, we've had 3 road trials, 3 moors trials, and 3 lofting trials, and it's been your best 2. So you're under really savage pressure all along a lot of the trials to perform, because one bad day and you're really under pressure straight away. And like, I think that really boosted the competition this time and made you work harder to get on the panel, because like it's really anyone's game, and especially like the road, like you're playing the road over in Castleton is where we trialed. Like, it's not really like some roads you can get a lucky hop or a little rub or something, but if you don't play your bowl in Castleton, it's into the ditch straight away, and that's 50 yards knocked off your shot. So you were on the ball and you were under savage pressure all along. And the competition with the senior women this time, it was unbelievable. And we brought an extra girl as well onto the panel. Last time we had 6 going over from Ireland. Now we have 7, so that kind of boosted the competition even more. And it's brilliant having that many girls, and that the competition is so intense to go over now to Germany. We're prepared, and we've done as much training and practice as we could.
I mentioned you're obviously road bowling, and we're all familiar here in West Cork with road bowling, but you also said about the moors and the lofting. So that's the Dutch moors and the German lofting. Can you explain those disciplines to us and what's involved?
Yeah, so the Dutch moors, it's very similar to road bowling, I would say. You have 10 shots over there, same as the road. You're just training, or you're playing in a field. So it's like going into your local GA pitch and you're throwing 10 shots, and it's marked like it's distance, what you're aiming for. Where you finish on one shot is where you're taking off. And it's similar to road bowling, but it's also not. Like, you're in road bowling, you shoot your bowl off at a higher like angle, or you're shooting it off further off the ground, whereas with moors you really have to drop it low, because if you shoot it off, it's such a light bowl, it's a wooden bowl, that it would just be taken away and you lose all of your speed and everything straight away if you shoot it off too high, that you're nearly dropping your body down to a lower angle really, and leave it off lower. Whereas with the road, you leave it off standing up straight. Then with the lofting, that's very similar to, I would say, shot put. The Irish, I know I wouldn't say we'd be brilliant at it. We're a lot more skilled at the road and at the moors. But you have 3 shots over there now next weekend, and it's more about distance in the air is what we have to try for with the lofting. So you've 3 shots, you're running into your shot and you just leave it off at a height, and where it drops at the ground is where it is measured. Whereas with the road and with the moors, it's where the bowl finally finishes. But the second your lofting bowl hits the ground is where it's marked, which is, it's tough. Like, we don't practice it as much as we probably should be, whereas they probably, then we aced the road if you look at our records from the last few years, whereas the Germans, they're exceptional at the lofting then if you were to watch them.
Saturday, so was the big day for the Irish team going over the ball coming team, because it's the road bowling team, the road bowling day. Do you feel there's always pressure on you didn't hand it to perform because it's our sport?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I would say, like, we have it in the back of our head. Everyone's going over there to want to get onto the road team. And I think that's what I found with the trials. We were under so much more pressure with the road than what you were with the moors and lofting, because everyone is fighting tooth and nail to get onto the road team. And then it's just everyone back at home knows road bowling. If you say, oh, I'm going on the Lofting or the Moors team, they're literally like, what do you want about? I feel, unless you're kind of going over, you know what you're doing, but the road, it's savage pressure. And especially it's an Irish sport. We developed it, we've perfected it, and it's what we're kind of built to do and perform at. But we have an unbelievable record all right over there. We came home with 3 gold medals last time, which is phenomenal. And just the whole team is fighting for the road, really.
What are you most looking forward to?
I actually, road, definitely. A road is obviously, I'm focused, I'm dead set on the road, but I'd love to give Moors a go and give it a battle, because I do think that we're capable of placing over in the Moors. It's just about getting your technique right and how important every single shot is. I'd love to boost where my placing where I placed last time. I came 8th overall, whereas I think we're more than capable of placing in the Moors with all the meters we were getting all along in their trials. Like, the women are more than capable than getting up higher in the ranks. But obviously, road, that's the target over there.
You mentioned that you were involved in the last European bowling championships two years ago. So you have a sense of what's involved, like the travel, the team, the camaraderie, and the whole event. So does that mean like you know what's involved? You really can't wait to travel with the team and just have that experience all over again?
Yeah, 100%. It was really surreal the last time, because it was my first time going over, and everything was, you just didn't know what to expect. You didn't know the kind of how everything would go, and minding yourself as well over there, and like getting prepared from like one day to the next. Like, it's not, I know throwing 10 shots seems easy, but it's really not. It takes everything, and you're throwing the kitchen sink at it, and being prepared every single day to go out and perform to your best ability. It's a lot. Like, I would say you're wrecked. If I remember last time after my road, I was just wrecked after. Like, you're so focused, you've trained months and months, and you want to get the best score that you can, and you're so set on throwing every single shot to perfection that it's a lot going over there, and it's an unbelievable experience. So for all the new ones coming on this year, we have 4 under-18 girls, and it's Ellen, my sister now, she's the only one that was able to go last time, but she wasn't on the road last time. But this time she's on the road, and she's in flying form at the moment. That I think it'll be an unbelievable experience for all of them going over there to get to experience it. And especially from under-18, these girls will be on the senior team, hopefully in 4 years' time, that they'll have that experience again in a few more years to perform and get to see it all and know what they have to do to make each team and perform over there, and minding themselves over there as well.
You mentioned your sister Ellen, and you have 2 sisters travelling over with you this time. Ellen and Laura are on the youth girls team. What's it like at home at the moment? I'd say excitement must be fever pitch.
Yeah, no, it is. It's unbelievable. We had the team announcement last week, and luckily all 3 of us are throwing over on the road, which is unbelievable. You would say, kind of in one sense, that 3 sisters managed to make the road team. No, it's brilliant. It's fierce competitive too, all right, like who can get the highest scores in all of the trials now. Like, we were in the group together, trialing together, and after each one it was like who got the highest scores, who beat who, and who's going to make it, really. Like, that's what we were under pressure with the whole time, obviously, with it, and staying with every other girl. But no, it's brilliant, and my parents they're absolutely delighted to have 3 of their daughters going over and performing in the road, which is like, it's everyone's target to make the road, and it's pretty unbelievable that all 3 of us are getting to perform over there.
I know we've talked beforehand about that competitive nature between all the Sexton sisters. You're all trying to keep ahead of the next. But the fact that, like you said there, the 3 of you are on the road team, like, that does make it extra special.
It does, yeah, 100%. Yeah, anyone and everyone is delighted too. Like, we're very proud here, and we're very lucky that we were able to do it, because there was only a few meterage between everyone. and how tight it was with all the underage girls. Like, they all performed out of their skin at every trial, and same with the senior women. Everyone performed to like the top that they could. But yeah, no, it is. It's the competition is fierce, all right, at home always and every year, and especially with championships starting again after the Europeans. Like, you're gonna be, it's like at the end of the year who can brag the most about what they did or something. But no, it is. It's brilliant. All right, having your sisters and being able, like, I'm very proud of the two of them, but getting to perform over there. And Laura now, she's only 16, so like this is a huge experience for her, and it'll definitely push the two of them on for the future and give them unbelievable experience.
How are you feeling heading into this weekend, form-wise? How are things going?
Yeah, good. I can't really complain now. We had a hiccup all right last year with an injury with my shoulder, but all going good now. We've been training hard, we've been practicing hard with it, and I'm confident. I'm hopeful going over now to perform to my best.
Absolutely brilliant. The very best of luck this weekend, Hannah.
Thank you very much, Kieran.
Welcome back to the Star Sport podcast, where we are now taking a quick look at what's in this week's Southern Star, which will be in shops across West Cork and online via our e-paper from Thursday morning. So that's tomorrow morning. On front page, we are celebrating two big performances at the weekend, as Clonakilty, as we heard earlier, celebrated winning the Beamish Cup final over Drinagh. Chris Collins there scored a sensational free kick to win it. And Phil Healy also qualifying for the Olympics as part of the Irish 4x400 mixed relay team. She'll be becoming a two-time Olympian, and we've plenty on her rise and her career in this week's Southern Star. We also have the John Hayes column, where he takes a look at what will be a season-defining clash with Clare in the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship group. He says a Cork win would set the Rebels up, and they'll travel to Ennis on May 18th knowing they have to win their opener. Elsewhere in this week's edition, we have plenty of match reports from local GAA games that took place over the past week, along with a report from Cork ladies footballers who are into the Munster Senior Ladies Football Championship final after an 11-10 victory over Tipperary. Holly O'Sullivan is also talking to us about Cork's minors who jumped the Clare hurdle to set up a home Munster decider against Kerry in a couple of weeks' time. Performance nutritionist Daniel Davey, or Davey Nutrition, as you may know him through Instagram, is also in this week's edition, talking about the habits that allow you to feel energized and feel at your best. He is, or was, a guest on last week's Star Sport podcast, so check that out as well to hear from him ahead of a special event in Glenillan Farm on the 16th of May. We have a brilliant interview as well with Jennifer Curry, who's a Lislevan legend. She's West Cork's greatest and most successful camogie player of all time, and she's now in her third season with her adopted county Armagh. She speaks to Kieran McCarthy about the fact that for her, every game is special because you never know when your last one will be. There's also the latest in motorsport after Keith Cronin was left deflated by a puncture, which cost him the win in the Rally of the Lakes. He had won 10 out of 14 stages, but had to settle for 4th place in the end. We also have updates from rugby, as Abby Salter-Townsend landed a double. She won the AIL and colleges double in just a year, so she's savouring that. We also have loads from schoolboys and schoolgirls soccer as well. So that is in shops and online from Thursday morning. As always, if you're further afield or can't make it to the shops, you can subscribe to the Southern Star and get it on your laptop, tablet or phone. Just head to subscribe.southernstar.ie, enter your details, and you'll get an exact replica of the newspaper for less than €2 per week. As always, thanks for listening to the Star Sport podcast, and thanks again to our sponsors at Access Credit Union. If you've enjoyed this, please remember to rate, review and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll be back again next week. Thanks for listening.